we get ready. Just stretch a little, clasp your fingers and give some space to your spine. Yeah, you can also stand. Okay, come on. Yes, you can stand and just clasp your fingers. Yes, 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 yes. You can twist. To the right say hello, to the left say hello. Yes. Yeah, you are here? I didn't know. Yes, yes. Oh, nice. Yes, yes, very good.
Now without talking, please be seated.
So, let's take a seat. Namaste everyone. A very good evening to all of you. I'm not used to guys, I'm only used to yoga mats. But yes, yoga is all about being aware, being in the present, and this is my present role. So before we start anything, let's do a very beautiful practice called conditioning. Conditioning of the mind is to be done before any practice, before any activity, so that one is more mindful, more aware in that activity, which is listening to me afterwards. So let's close our eyes, the most difficult part. Okay, let's close our eyes, sit tall, keep your shoulders broad. You're breathing very well. Yes. You can place your palms on your thighs, palms facing the ceiling because you're ready to receive whatever comes to you without any judgment. Okay. Observe your body from top to bottom, and if there's any discomfort in any part of the body, just exhale and let go. Take your focus on your breath. Breath is a magic happening to us all the time. Don't interfere with your breath. Don't manipulate your breath. Just observe like a good witness. The air going in and the air coming out. Breath proves that we are alive. Watch your breath with little gratitude and praise. And we start with a prayer which we do in the institute. And the prayer itself defines what is yoga. हमें अपने मन को हमेशा संतुलित रखना है, इसी में ही हमारा आत्म विकास समाया है. Which means our self-development is possible only if we maintain a balanced state of mind all the time, all the time, all the time. With a smile on your entire body, rub your palms, cup your eyes. And welcome back. Yeah? कहाँ गए हम वापस? Back to that world. Okay? So before we understand yoga and pre-diabetes condition, let's first understand what is yoga all about. So whenever we ask what is yoga, people give different, widely different answers. Like for few of us, it might be a relief for some illness. For few of us, it might be a way to increase our stamina, our breathing power. For few of us, it might be something like increasing our mental power. For few of us, it might be something, a way towards spirituality. But what we don't understand is, this is not a complete yoga. Only doing asana practice or pranayama practice or meditation, which is really a fashionable word today, it's not yoga in itself. These are only the limbs of yoga and not yoga in complete itself. Okay? So what is yoga? Yoga is a way of life. Simple. It's a way of life. It's a holistic approach, not towards any disease, but towards health. Be it physical, be it mental, social, spiritual, you name it, and that is what yoga is all about. So yoga when we think about yoga, what does it mean? It's something difficult, right? When we think about a yogi or a sannyasi, we think, okay, somebody roaming around in the jungle or maybe in the Himalayas, sitting like Gautam Buddha with eyes closed only, someone in saffron attire. Yes, and such a deep subject that sometimes laymen like us are not able to follow, to understand a yogic lifestyle. So, uh, this is the legacy of the Yoga Institute. Why this is important? Because this institute has worked on how to become a householder yogi. So this institute was founded in 1918. It is almost 105 years old. And the founder of the institute, Sri Yogendra Ji, was very clear when he said to his guru that I want to marry, I want to have kids, and I want to be a yogi. And that was something 100 years back. How can be a yogi be a married man? They can't have a family. They should be staying somewhere in the jungle, practicing their sadhana, going towards samadhi. But the founder said, why can't we bring the system of yoga from the Himalayas to every house? Why? Because yoga is also a balanced state of mind. People staying in this world need more balance. They need more, because they have so much of difficulties, so much of challenges in life. Okay, today, sir, I'm not coming for work. Okay, the project is here. Okay, ma'am, I can't come. There are a lot of challenges of a family or the workplace. So they need more balanced state of mind. So why can't we bring this system of yoga to every household and make them strong enough so that they become aware of themselves, of their true nature? So what he did, he simplified everything. Basically, he simplified all the techniques of yoga, because if we go by scriptures, the techniques of yoga is not easy. And it is also very technical. If you start, so being a householder, the kind of food we eat, the exact yogic techniques will not suit us. We need to be a proper Hatha yogi, right? A yogi, so that we can follow that. So he simplified, modified with the exact benefit, and simplified everything so that a layman like us can understand what is yoga all about. Okay, so before we go ahead, scripture is very important. So the science of yoga was there since ages. It was there, but it was unorganized. It was transferred from a guru to a shishya orally. But some 2,500 years ago, Maharshi Patanjali, he simplified, he compiled the knowledge of yoga, and he came out with a book named Yoga Sutra. This Yoga Sutra is a classical work which has, you can say, as we have constitution, all the rules. This Yoga Sutra has all the rules of yoga. And when you go through this, when we read this Yoga Sutra, and our teacher said, there's 196 sutras in the book, and how many are there dedicated to asana practice? Okay, at least 50% should be dedicated. Only three Yoga Sutras for asana practice. The other sutras is for other aspects of yoga. Unfortunately, when we see around, we get a message that yoga is only about practicing physical aspect, the asana practice, and that's why many of the practitioners, they come to us and tell us that we are not getting that benefit which yoga has claimed. Why? Because they are only following the physical aspect, or maybe some breathing, or maybe sitting for meditation. But are we practicing the entire system of yoga? No, actually no, because we are in the field and we see the moment we finish with asana practice, even if we take them to Shavasana, they say, okay, yeah, can I leave? Because they are not practicing the entire system, okay? So, coming back to the Yoga Sutra, and this is the Yoga Sutra which says what is yoga is all about. It says, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the complete stoppage of fluctuations of mind. Very difficult, let me tell you. It's very easy to say, but it's very difficult to stop the fluctuations of mind. It is about complete control of a human personality. And a personality is not only this body. Personality is your mind, is your thoughts, is your feelings, is your sensations. Everything comes into personality. And when there is a complete control on the personality, we say that yes, yoga is happy. So it's not easy. It's easier said than done, but it's not easy. Okay? So going ahead, when we talk about Yoga Chittavritti Nirodha, okay? So you will see that whenever we have a distracted mind, we will always be diversified. It's very difficult for us to focus, okay? And yoga, very earlier they knew that there's a mind-body connection. So when our Honorable Prime Minister came up with this resolution that 21st of June will be celebrated as International Day of Yoga, all countries of the United Nations, they came up unanimously and they passed the resolution. Which means even every fraternity, every community has accepted there is a mind-body connection. So you always ask, Pooja, come on, okay Pooja, you are here for yoga and pre-diabetes. Where are you going? Why you are talking about mind so much? Why? Because in yoga, mind supersedes body. It is always that your mind supersedes body. There should be a harmony between the mind and the body in order to keep everything inside us in balance. If the mind is not balanced, the body, whatever you do, the body systems, the endocrine system, the secretions of the body, the enzymes of the body will never work in a flow. They will never be balanced. So that's why the mind is so important. Okay? So we know everything, right? We know everything. Okay, mind is this, mind should be in balance. But why is it that we are still anxious? Why are we still stressed? Why are we not able to understand our true nature, who we are? Why is it that we are always looking for happiness outside? Why is it that even after knowing everything, we don't believe in the higher reality? We believe in money, but we don't believe in higher reality. Why it is so? This is so because we have lot of structural, this is very interesting, I must tell you. We have lot of structural defects, lot of negative mental patterns which stops us to understand who we are. And you will relate this to your life. So why I have taken this is something mentioned in Yoga Sutra and there are lot of explanation for this. So these are called kleshas and in yoga it is said that these 5 kleshas are the root cause of all suffering. And in yoga, if you are suffering, maybe some illness or anything, bad health, it is said that it is equal to death. Okay, it is equal to death. Suffering is equal to death. So kleshas is the root cause. Not only in yoga, even in Ayurveda it is said that when there is a loss of balanced state of mind, you will have only suffering. Okay, so what this is all about? So if you see, this is a tree and the root is the first klesha, which is the root of all causes, avidya. Okay, avidya. What is avidya? Wrong knowledge. And if you just go back today after understanding what is avidya, you will see our life is full of avidya. We don't have the right knowledge, okay? We want to see the world the way we want it. We don't want to see the world from a hill. Okay, the world is like this only, okay? We want to say, smile to someone and we want that the person should smile to us. This is avidya. Why will the person will smile to us? You want to smile? Okay, we smile. Why will the person smile? I love you. Why he or she should love me back? No, this is avidya. And this starts causing stress. Okay? So we know the stress is the result. What is the cause? Avidya. So we start working on avidya and out of avidya comes asmita. Very important. I have done this job. I have made this project. I am here for the presentation. No, there are a lot of people involved for me to here to start. God's grace, my teachers, maybe YouTube videos, lot of books. I am not the only one who is responsible for this presentation. So that is asmita, the I sense, me, mind, I. Okay, and that causes stress. Why? Because then we start looking for praises. Yes, you did it very well. Yeah? And then for that will cause stress when we don't get that praise. So after asmita, because you have asmita, there is rag and dvesh, likes and dislikes. There is a lot of liking. I like this only. I like to eat this only. No, I don't like this. The moment this happens, you get someone you like or something you like which you don't like. Oh, क्या हुआ यार ये तो ऐसा, right? A stress starts building up. Okay, similarly with life, you like something and you don't get something, again you'll be stressed. And then because it's likes, there's a fear also of losing it, right? I like this car. The moment you take out that car, you'll be driving as if the car is in a garage. No one should. The moment there's maybe some accident, some mishappening happened, and there's some scar on the car, you will be this rage, this anger. Why? Because we are attached, we are liking, okay? And then there's a fear of anything, fear of losing. Maybe I have a fear of maybe I'll forget what I have to speak. Yeah, I'm not afraid, don't worry. Even if I forget, doesn't matter. Okay, so there's a fear. And when there's a fear, there's always a stress. Who is here when you see a lion? Ah, yes, come on, I'm ready to hug. We are already stressed, right? The moment we are in under stress, our blood vessels start squeezing, right? And that's the reason of many psychosomatic disorder. So why this slide is important? Because this gives rise to anxiety, depression, stress, whatever. The moment we are clear on this, let me tell you, life is so smooth. Ask my husband. So happy. Hey, thank you. You went to yoga and you're following yoga philosophy. You're following the concept. Yes, because after being in yoga, you will love your peace of mind, not P-I-E-C, but peace of mind. You love so much that at any cost you would not like to lose it. Yeah. So my husband was also a pre-diabetic 2 years back. Okay, not because the reason definitely I'll come to therapy just now. But yes, we just made few changes and he's out of it without any medicine. We didn't use any medicine. Unfortunately or fortunately, yoga doesn't have any parameters or any numbers. Okay, so it becomes very easy. Okay, so we go ahead and before we go ahead, take a deep breath in and hold your breath. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and exhale. One more time. Yeah? You are alive, right? Breath. Inhale. And hold your breath. Yeah, nice smiles. And very gently exhale and just let go. Okay? Going ahead. Okay, so going ahead with the therapy part, what do we do whenever there is a condition? So, as I said, yoga is not like a prescription. Okay, this disease, no, it doesn't work like that. Okay, sorry to say, but there, you will see a lot of video for menopause. It doesn't work, let me tell you. I don't know why people are making for menopause, for hip opening, okay, whatever, lot of things, right? You will see. But this doesn't work at all. So I'm not going to. So suppose you are sitting here and you come to know that one of the leg of your chair is broken. What will happen? Okay, you start trembling, right? Similarly, we have 4 pillars of yoga, which each pillar should be equally strong. If any of the pillar becomes weak, we are unstable, right? So the first is I am sure you must have heard a lot about food, but we must know what yoga has to say about food. Because in yoga, food has a very spiritual dimension. It's not only for eating, creating energy, no. It has a spiritual dimension. Upanishads have said that food is Brahman, the supreme reality. Annam Brahmati is what it is said by Upanishad. Okay, so there's not too much. Why? Because I want you to understand. Okay, so in yoga, there's few kinds of food which has to be avoided and which has to be consumed. Over civilizations, we have seen that there's a lot of changes happening in food, and the natural form of food is lost. Yoga says have the natural form of food, which is sattvic ahar, which means something which is freshly cooked and something which is easily digestible. The best thing is our body is very smart. It's just that because of so much of kleshas, there's so much of curtains on us that we don't understand what is suiting us and what is not suiting us. So when you start practicing yoga, you start knowing your true nature, who you are, what do you like, what does your body react, and you'll be able to understand what food suits you. So what kind of food one should have? I will not get into food too much. Sattvic ahar, food which you can offer to God. Will you offer a pizza to God? Oh, no. No, right? So whatever one can offer to God, one can have. What kind of food to avoid? There are food which is called tamasic and rajasic. Tamasic food is something which will make you dull. Pre-diabetes, here everybody, they need movement. If they have a lot of tamasic food, they will definitely be like, "Arey, बैठ तो भाई बस अभी और कुछ मत बोल वैसे." They will just love to sit and lie down. So they should avoid, okay? Say tamasic is dull, okay? You will feel lazy. Similarly, if you are having rajasic food and if a person is overthinking, too much of thoughts coming, the mind is agitated, they should stop tamasic food because that will increase their aggression. And whenever there is aggression, definitely internal system is not happy. Whatever organ we talk about, liver, pancreas, spleen, nothing is happy when you are in aggression. Only, okay, we think we are happy when we are no, it's not like that. Okay, so that is what we have to avoid. How much to eat? It's said mitahar. Our stomach is like the size is this. Okay, our plate size is, I don't know. Okay, the plate size. So yoga says divide your plate into 4 sections. 2 sections should be your food. 1 section should be some liquid, not water or milk, but some liquid, any soup, and 1 section should be empty. Why? When you put something into a mixer, you need some space, right? Lot of chutney, I think people make chutney. You need some space. You don't just pull it. Why? Because the digestive enzymes need space for that food to assimilate. Okay, so you should always leave yoga says leave the dining table hungry. Okay, don't fill your stomach completely. Okay, next, when to eat? Yoga says 4 times. Okay, then you are very happy. 4 times, okay, breakfast. So it's like the quantity what you are eating. If you are eating a particular quantity in breakfast, you should be super hungry after 4 hours. Because our body is made such way that the food, sattvic food I'm talking about, it gets digested within 4 hours. If you are taking tamasic, it can take 8 hours, 16 hours. So when to eat? Again, 4 times is like you can take 2 small and 2 big meals, and then suppose depending on your lifestyle, you can definitely change twice a day or once depending on your lifestyle. Okay, if you're like from a farmer background, running and you're doing a lot, you can definitely have a more quantity. But if you have a sitting job, definitely even survive even if you don't eat. Let me tell you. Okay, so. Our Guru always says, let the food be like medicine, otherwise medicine will be your food. Okay, so think about it. Okay, so this is most important, what attitude one should have while eating. One should be very happy, joyful while eating. Silently we should eat, and there shouldn't be any negative opinion when you eat, neither for the food nor for the person who is serving you, whatever the food is. So we have to rise up above our likes and dislikes. Okay, we have to. Kleshas again comes into picture. So if we are always, I like to eat only this, I don't want to eat this. You have seen children, right? They are always in tension. Okay, so the stress will build up if the attitude while eating is not correct. So what attitude? Very joyous, happy, or silent eating, full attention. Because when we eat and we put attention to what we are eating, our brain responds very fast. Okay? So, next is Vihar, very important. Relaxation, recreation and relationship. If we don't relax, it is said that there was diabetes camp in the institute, and one of the process of giving suggestion to people with diabetes is we look what personality they have, and we found that they are generally very headstrong, they are very assertive, they don't like to change. They want people to change, they don't like to, they are very perfectionist. So their sympathetic nervous system is always on. Okay? When we do relaxation, the parasympathetic nervous system gets switched on and their relaxation response is on. Next is recreation, having a me time. We have heard, right? All work and no play makes a Jack dull boy. Not only Jack, any one of us. Okay, makes a dull boy. So a recreation, what happens? It invigorates energy within you. It is like a me time. And when you are happy, everything inside your body becomes balanced. Next is relationship. Relationship boosts are one of the most important factor for stress in our life. Okay, आज जाके देखना आप. Okay. Okay, so relationship with yourself, relationship with your work, with your family, everything has to be balanced. Otherwise, relationship problems, anything like we start telling people, okay, it's your fault, maybe the spouse or friend or parents or children, it's their fault. So we start blaming others. So what we have to do is, we have to really work on the relationship. There are a lot of yogic concepts which we follow. It really, as I said, my husband is very happy. Yes? Okay. Next is Achar. It's a routine. Just imagine I come in a hospital, I barge into a doctor's where I want to check it first, okay? And I move out of the chamber without paying anything and just rush out of the hospital. The receptionist is running after me. Okay, where is the money? Where is the money? Okay? That's one scenario. The other scenario, which we all know, you register, you take an appointment, there's a particular routine, right? There's a particular flow. And that keeps very smooth running of the hospital. Similarly, if we follow a routine, there will be a smooth functioning of every body system. So we have to follow the nature's rhythm. We don't have to just go haywire. As ma'am very beautifully said, sleep. Sleep is very important. As the highway is repaired at night, the entire system gets repaired when you sleep at night. And not night means 2 o'clock. 8 hours of sleep, which includes 11 to 2, because that is the time the entire system gets repaired. Okay, so routine is the third therapy. For this last is Vichar. It's like a bus, a beautiful bus. You are going on a tour. Everything is good, music is good, everything is taken care of, and then you come to know that the driver is drunk the whole night and sitting here. You jump out of the bus. So the Vichar is very, very important. And I want you to close your eyes just to see how a thought can change the chemical within you. Okay, so close your eyes and just listen to me. Okay? So, there's a one thought that it is raining very heavily and the weather is so bad. Immediately you take another thought. Though it is raining heavily, I am happy that the grass is getting watered for free. Another thought comes to you that I have so much housework to do, I'm so sad. The very next moment, you give it a thought, I'm happy that I have a place called home. Third thought, a negative thought comes to you. Okay, my job gives me so much of stress, I'm not happy with my job. The second thought comes to you, I'm happy, at least I have a job. So you will realize the moment the thought pattern changes, the feeling within you also changes. So keep your eyes closed and I will end with a read, which is a beautiful read about nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. So just listen to it. This will really help us to keep us positive, strong in any situation, whether it is pre-diabetes, is just a small example in case of yoga, in any condition. So what was in the morning is not at midday. What was at midday is not at night. For all things are transitory. Our body, which is the cause of all kinds of human effort, eating, sleeping, sex, is as transitory as scattering clouds. All our objects of pleasure are changing. Wealth is as transitory as wave. Youth, like a cotton particle blown off in a whirlwind, and opportunities like floating dreams. Why? Why should I be attached to anything when nothing is permanent and everything is changing? Why should I be attached to anything when nothing is permanent and everything is changing? Don't open your eyes. I just want to say a Shanti mantra. You can join your palms in Namaste. What does it mean being in Namaste? You're joining your right and left side of your body. You feel one when you join your palms. So this mantra means that, oh Lord, take me from ignorance towards knowledge. Take me from darkness towards light. Take me from mortality towards immortality. Asito ma satgamaya. You can repeat. Asito ma satgamaya. Tamso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma amrutam gamaya. Little more energy. Asitoma sadgamaya. Asitoma sadgamaya. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Just let go. Rub your palms, cup your eyes, and very gently open your eyes. Thank you so much.